Should I?
I saw you in potatoes this afternoon.
I don't remember seeing you.
Well, no matter. I'm returning your book.
What book?
The Death of God? You left it on the counter.
Oh, I did leave the book on the counter. I thought I'd lost it. I've been looking everywhere for it and couldn't find it. How careless of me, Mr.
Preview, Philip, preview.
And how clever of you to have found me out.
Well, it wasn't so much cleverness that did it as the chart slip with your name, Diana Hunt, and your address, 222 East 50th Street.
So it wasn't so much your cleverness then as my stupidity.
Oh, no, I wouldn't say that. Here's your book.
Thank you. Don't go. I do wish you'd let me express my gratitude in a more concrete way than thank you.
Well,
After all, it is Saturday night.
all right. Just for a minute. May I ask you a question? It's been nagging me since I saw you this afternoon.
Go ahead and ask.
Did you leave that book on the counter deliberately?
I think that should be rather obvious to you by now.
I don't understand.
Yes, I did leave the book on the counter deliberately. I did it because I wanted to meet you. Is there anything wrong in that?
Well, why didn't you just come right out and say so in the bookstore?
You take all the romance out of life, given half the chance, Mr. Preview.
Not very romantic, that's true. Speculative, perhaps, but not romantic.
Ah, but you are romantic, Philip. I mean, Mr. Preview, you wouldn't have brought my book back if you weren't romantic and even a little adventurous.
But I'm not romantic, and I'm certainly not adventurous. I think full-hearted is the word that best describes me.
Whatever you are, you're just the person I'm looking for.
I don't understand.
I knew it as soon as I saw you browsing through the religious book section this afternoon.
Actually, it was in the theology section.
Theology, of course. And naturally, I assumed you were interested in things theological.
A fair assumption.
And to judge from your facial expression, you were not only interested in theology, you were ecstatic about it.
Theology, I must confess, is the one passion of my life.
And that's to the fact that you were clean-cut and handsome and definitely poor, that you had a prism powder about your baby face, and you were wearing an anonymous dark suit, and it was quite easy to conclude that you're just the man I'm looking for.
It was?
A Roman Catholic seminarian, just left over the wall, as it were.
Does it all show?
To put it bluntly, Mr. Preview, you're an open book.
Oh, I thought I hid it so well.
Why don't you sit down and make yourself more comfortable? I'll be back in a minute.
Where are you going?
I'm going to slip into something a little more suitable for the occasion.
Surely not on my account.
It's not on my account, I can assure you. I'll be right back.
Why am I what you're looking for?
Because I'm writing a book.
Aren't we all?
It's a novel about a girl just graduated from one of the seven sisters. I haven't decided which one yet. She's the best the modern world has to offer. She's beautiful, she's intelligent, she's rich, and she's a pagan. You see, she represents the flesh.
That makes sense.
In the course of her travels, she meets an innocent young man. He's the product of the best the whole world has to offer. He's handsome, he's poor, he's intelligent, and he's a Christian.
And what does he represent?
The spirit.
I might have known.
What do you think of the plot so far?
I can see what you're attempting to set up in your novel as a sort of dynamic dualism.
That's it precisely.
But don't you think the situation is a little too black and white, not enough gray?
How can you say that when we don't even know how it ends?
But I know how it ends. He who represents the spirit falls prey, excuse my pun, to the charms of her who represents the flesh, and she seduces him.
How did you know that?
Because I've read it 1,000 times before. But what I want to know is how come she, for once, can't fall prey to his arguments, and he converts her.
I'm writing the novel, not you.
I see. It's an autobiographical work.
I don't write anything. I have an experience firsthand, which is why I learned to here today.
I'm the spirit.
You're the spirit, and before the evening is out, I'm going to seduce you.
Yeah.
Purely professional,
Right.
of course.
Nothing personal intended, I can assure you.
Any relationship to a person either living or dead.
It's purely, pardon the pun, coincidental.
Well, I'm sorry to disillusion you, little Miss Breast with Bell Bottoms, but I don't think you can seduce me.
There isn't anything I can seduce because my mind's
not a woman alive that can speak my words.
There isn't a woman alive that can tempt you from your pedestal. My, you are a God man. Would you like a drink?
Yes, I think I can use one.
What would you like?
Whatever you're having.
I'm having a screwdriver.
I don't believe I've had one before.
It's made of orange juice and vodka.
I think I'll like that.
I think you'll like it too.
I do like it.
Well, I didn't think you noticed what with theology being your one true passion and all that.
Though I study the Word of God, I'm not unattracted by physical beauty.
You mean there's hope for you yet?
It's just that I'm attracted by spiritual beauty more.
Is that why you brought my book back? You were attracted to my spiritual body?
Thank you.
To my spirituality?
To your physicality. No. The reason why I brought your book back, if I may call my old world education, is summed up in the words of the immortal Terence. Homo sum hominum adem and putum.
What was that again?
Don't tell me you don't know what that means.
It's Latin, isn't it?
It means I am a man, and as such I find nothing that is human foreign to me.
I don't want to hear it.
And since you're human, it's not surprising that I find you not foreign to me at all.
You are, without a doubt, the most barbaric young man I've ever met.
Funny you should use that word.
What word?
Barbaric. It's the word Robert Graves. Surely you've heard of him.
Of course I have. Everyone's heard of Robert Graves.
Who is he?
Never mind.
He used that word to describe someone who's never studied Latin. He says this person is to a greater or less extent a barbarian.
I've never studied Latin. I've never pretended to, and I'm not a barbarian.
And what's more, Mr. Graves was only talking about the language of classical Rome. Since then, Latin has become the tongue of the church and the great saints and martyrs.
There is no God, and Mary is his mother.
That's George Scott.
That's Diana Hunt, goddammit.
I can see it now. You and the other college girls approaching the great lake of atheism. Tentatively at first, tittering to be sure, then disrobing in the moonlight and plunging suitless into the icy waters of the deep.
That's not how it was.
How exhilarating it must have seemed.
What do you know about swimming in the nude anyway?
Not a great deal, really. You see, I can't swim. But I do know a great deal about theism, about the belief in God, about the movements of the soul, and what I know prompts me to conclude that the lady doth protest too much of our unbelief, that she is probably quite close to God at this very moment.
I don't protest half enough, and I'm not close to God.
You know something?
What?
Before this evening is over, I'm going to convert you.
What was that?
Convert you to the faith of your fathers.
Never.
What a delicious prospect.
Never in 8,000 years.
Let's begin with the proper position.
What are you doing?
Teaching you how to pray. Put your hands like this. Now, that's not so difficult, is it?
If only I'd known how easy it was.
Hello, what's this?
Tony!
My bird! She watches to another man.
Tony, please don't make a scene.
My bird in the arms of another man who's stroking her plumage, and she says, don't make a scene. What am I, an ostrich?
Please, Tony, he was not stroking my plumage.
What was he doing then? Imitating the bird calls of the world?
He was just teaching me how to pray.
Oh, Diana, what is this morbid desire of yours? Wanting to regress to the primitive.
Diana, who is this man, and how does he happen to have a key to your apartment?
I don't know who you are or what you're doing here, but let me tell you something.
What's that?
I got squatters right here.
Is that so? Well, let me tell you something in return, you dandified ostrich. I've got something here called needless rights.
Just who do you think you are?
I might ask you the very same question.
I know who I am. I'm Anthony Bald Finn.
Bald Finn?
There's 2 G's and 2 N's.
What kind of name is that?
It's a very common name, actually. My mom was a Bog and my father was a Finn.
And just what do you do, Bald Finn, do that justifies your existence?
I'm a publisher, actually.
And what is it that you publish?
A small little journal. I doubt you've ever heard of it. Uterus is its name. Devoted obviously to love in all of its infinite variety.
I take it then that you publish more for pleasure than for profit?
How naive of you, boy. We have no idea what people will pay for the nose for those little penetrating as it What about it, sweetie? You coming with me?
Coming where?
Oh, hell no, Honda downstairs. I thought you'd like to do around with your old bald friend.
What's a Honda?
Did you know that?
Is it a type of horse?
What makes you say that?
That riding crop you're carrying?
Oh, how naive, young man. A Honda is a species of a motorcycle.
What's the purpose of the riding crop?
Oh, you're so delightfully and crisp. Oh, really should put you in uterus, you know. Motorcycles have horsepower. They're marvelous machines, miraculously, really. But you know what? Sometimes they don't give it their all. That's where the riding crop comes in. I have to tickle that Honda, I have to tease the animal in it, and sometimes I have to slap the horsepower out of it. How about it, girl?
Please go.
Why don't you come in with me, won't you?
No.
Why not?
As you can see, I have another engagement this evening.
Aren't we having an affair, or aren't we?
Tony, please go.
Am I entitled to special privileges and priorities?
No, you're not.
Diana, you're taking the meaning out of all this relationship.
The door is right behind you, Tony.
Stop pushing and shoving.
I haven't touched you.
I'm fully capable of finding my own way to out of the room. Look, Diana, we could take him along too. That saddle's big enough for all three if we hold on tight. Who knows? It might be the beginning of a new relationship.
Is that the sort of man that arouses your interest?
Philip,
Is that the sort of man that tickles your fancy?
please.
Why? He has about as much life as a prize butterfly.
Don't talk that way.
Are you having an affair with him?
I just know you put that interpretation on it. I just knew it.
Are you in love with him?
I don't know.
Does he intend to marry you?
It's hard to tell.
I'd say the answer is no in both cases. He doesn't need marriage to get what he wants out of life, and he doesn't need love. All he needs to keep him happy is a little sensation, a little vibration in the saddle.
Stop it.
I just want you to know I could be that way too if I wanted to be.
Don't say that.
Only I don't want to be.
You couldn't be that way even if you wanted to.
Oh yes, I could. All I have to do is will.
You're not made that way. You're different.
Why would I grasp theology? I could be the next Martin Luther if I wanted to be. Only I don't want to be.
That's theology. What about love? What do you know about love? Have you ever had any relations?
Not that I know of. My parents died when I was very young.
You see what I mean? You don't even know what I'm talking about.
What? Ask me again.
What I asked you was, have you ever made love? And you didn't even know what I was talking about.
Is that what you asked? Well, the answer is no.
And how can you talk about it with so much assurance? It's not right.
I can talk about it because I've read a great deal about it. Take the Saints, for example. They're the greatest lovers in history. Not the roues and Raquels of romantic literature.
You're making that up.
And why would I make that up?
Name three.
Francis of Assisi, Teresa of Avila, John of the Cross. Great lovers, all in love with God. What greater love could there be?
What about love for your fellow man?
What kind of answer is that?
It's the best answer I know how to give. I haven't loved God because I haven't known Him. I've known men, and I love them to the best of my ability.
What a silly thing to say.
It's not silly. It's the best I know how.
What I'm trying to get through to you is that the virtuous man is more passionate than the most passionate fornicator.
Is that so? Well, I'm a fornicator, and I've slept all around. But I'm more passionate than you'll ever be.
Is that so?
And you know what that makes me?
What?
More virtuous than you are by your very definition.
That doesn't follow along necessarily.
I know it doesn't. Oh, Philip, teach me how to pray. Teach me how to pray, and I'll teach you how to love. What's this on your knee?
Those, they're nothing.
No, tell me, I want to know.
I don't know why you want to know, but they're what are known in the business as piety pads.
Piety pads?
I've spent so much time these last few years on my knees that I've got huge rough calluses all over them.
You really do know how to pray, don't you?
What are you doing?
Teaching you how to love. The first position is known as putting one's head on the shoulder of one's beloved.
But what about my theology?
What about your theology?
I am in love with theology.
I don't care if theology is clean as a maid.
I feel so unloyal,
So warm.
so unfaithful.
So loved.
It's as though I feel my syllogisms falling down.
Those are your suspenders. I'm letting them down.
Woo! Are you sure we're alone?
Yes, I'm sure.
It's locked.
There's nothing to lock but the door and it's locked.
Nobody can come in.
Not a soul in the world can disturb us. Why, Philip, you're crying.
I know.
Are you upset with me?
No.
Then why are you crying?
I don't know. Perhaps it's the past coming back to haunt me, crowding in on me, confusing me. I don't know where I stand anymore. I was going to be a priest once, and now I'm not.
Why did you leave the seminary, Philip?
I don't know. It's too soon to tell yet.
Well, try to tell me. Try.
Perhaps it was that I never really wanted to be a priest in the first place. Perhaps it was just that I wanted to be a good man, and it took me 8 years to realize that I didn't have to be a priest to be a good man. I'm rather slow of mind, wouldn't you say?
No, I wouldn't say that, Philip. But do you know what I would say?
No.
That you are a good man.
I only wish I were.
And do you know what else I would say?
No.
That you would have been a good priest, too.
I highly doubt it.
I know it.
Here I've been with you for what feels like hours, and I haven't been able to convert you yet.
Well, I'm the great lover, remember? And I haven't been able to seduce you either.
Diana, why did you do it? Why did you leave that book on the counter for Thanos today?
Because I was lonely. Because I wanted to meet someone who wouldn't take advantage of me. Why did you bring that book back, Philip?
Because I was lonely. Because I wanted someone to talk to. And because you looked like such a nice girl.
Who said you weren't romantic?
I didn't really want to convert you, you know?
And I didn't want to seduce you either, Philip. I want you to know that.
You can't force someone to believe, you know?
And you can't force somebody to love if he doesn't want to.
I want to learn to love sometime, Diana.
And I want to come to believe, Philip.
It takes time. That's the trouble. Everything takes so much time. Time to think, time to grow.
Time to pray, time to love.
Yes. Time to pray, time to love. Have you got the time?
I've got the time.
Are you sure?
I've got all the time in the world.
Oh.